Good morning, students. In previous video, I will discuss the hydrides of oxygen family and its chemical properties. In today's class, I will discuss the laboratory preparation of ozone and its chemical properties. The first comes to ozone. So what is ozone? Ozone is the having molecular formula O3. Ozone is having molecular formula O3 and it is the allotropic form of oxygen. Ozone is the allotropic form of oxygen and its molecular formula is O3. And ozone is prepared in the upper atmosphere. Ozone is prepared in the upper atmosphere. It is an allotropic form of oxygen and it is prepared in the upper atmosphere by action of UV light on oxygen. UV light in presence of when UV light falls on oxygen or when oxygen comes in contact with UV light, then ozone is formed. In atmosphere, ozone is prepared from oxygen by the help of UV radiation. Then how ozone can be prepared in laboratory? The ozone is prepared in laboratory by a specially designed apparatus known as ozonizer. Ozone can be prepared by passing silent electric current through pure and dry oxygen in a specially designed apparatus called ozonizer. In a specially designed apparatus ऑक्सीजन गैस को आमे जदि साइलेंट इलेक्ट्रिक करंट पास करेबा देन दिस ऑक्सीजन गैस इज कन्वर्टेड टू ओजोन एंड दिस apparatus is known as ozonizer. The formation of ozone from oxygen is a endothermic process or endothermic reaction. So in this case delta H is positive, that is 284 kilojoule per mole amount of energy is absorbed when oxygen is converted into ozone. So in the laboratory preparation of ozone, there are two types of ozonizer are found. Ozone is prepared in laboratory by using two types of ozonizer. That is, one is Siemens ozonizer and second one is Brodish ozonizer. In two types of ozonizer, oxygen can be converted into ozone by absorbing this amount of energy or by passing silent electric current through pure and dry oxygen. Let us come to first ozonizer, that is Siemens ozonizer. Siemens ozonizer. Siemens ozonizer having diagram. See this type of diagram. This is the diagram of Siemens ozonizer. In this diagram, let us see there are two concentric glass tubes. This one and this one. Two glass tubes are fused at one end and closed at one end. There are two glass tubes are taken which is fused at one end and closed at one end. And the inner and outer surface of the glass tube, the inner and outer surface of the glass tube are coated with tin foil. Both outer and inner surface of the glass tube are coated with tin foil. And the outer and inner tin foils are connected to the terminals of an induction coil to provide electric current. For passing of electric current, both inner and outer tin foils are connected to the induction coil. And also in this apparatus there are two passages. One is for inlet of pure and dry oxygen, and another passage is for outlet, that is known as outlet for ozonized oxygen. So this is the construction of Siemens ozonizer. Let's take a view. In Siemens ozonizer, the ozonizer consists of two concentric glass tubes sealed at one end, the outer surface of the outer tube and the inner surface of the inner tube are coated with tin foil. This is the black dark circles, the black dark area are tin foils. The outer and inner coating of tin foil are connected to the two terminals of an induction coil. Both outer and inner terminal of tin foil are connected to the two terminals of induction coil, which produce a current of high voltage. The induction coil produces voltage of high voltage. And the glass tube contains one end for inlet of pure and dry oxygen, and the other end has the outlet for ozonized oxygen. This is the inlet and this is the outlet. This is outlet and this is inlet, in which in inlet oxygen gas is introduced and in outlet ozonized oxygen is out. How ozone is prepared? This is the construction. Then how ozone is prepared in this Siemens ozonizer? When a slow stream of pure and cold oxygen introduced to the Siemens ozonizer, when pure and dry oxygen is introduced to the Siemens ozonizer, as it passes through the space between the two concentric tubes, that is the space. This is the space where the oxygen moves, and it is subjected to the silent electric discharge, Then the oxygen gas is converted to ozone. When oxygen subjected to silent electric discharge by the help of induction coil, then this oxygen gas is converted into ozone. The mixture containing 10 to 15% ozone comes out the outlet. The ozonized oxygen containing 10 to 15% ozone comes in outlet and is collected. Therefore, ozone is called ozonized oxygen, because in ozonized oxygen there is a mixture of ozone and oxygen. Pure form of ozone is not collected at the outlet. This is a mixture of ozone and oxygen. In this mixture, 10 to 15% of ozone are collected. This is the process of Siemens ozonizer. In this Siemens ozonizer, oxygen is converted to ozone. Then comes to another ozonizer, that is Brady's ozonizer. Let us see how Brady's ozonizer works. This is the diagram of Brady's ozonizer. In Brady's ozonizer, we take a U-shaped tube. In U-shaped tube, another glass tube is introduced, and both the glass tubes are fused at one end, and there is another delivery tube is connected for collection of ozonized oxygen, and the whole apparatus then transferred to a gas jar. Then the inner side of the inner tube and the whole gas jar are filled with dilute H2SO4 solution. After that, two platinum electrodes are taken. One platinum electrode is introduced in the inner tube and another platinum electrode is introduced in the gas jar. And both the platinum electrodes are connected to the induction coil for electric discharge. So this is the construction of Brody ozonizer. Let us briefly discuss the construction of Brody ozonizer. The ozonizer consists of a U-shaped tube. This is a U-shaped tube. One limb is wider and other limb than the other end. Other end taru gote limb wider rauchi, and a narrow glass tube close to one end. A narrow glass tube is introduced at one end. Wide limb introduced into the wide limb pote introduce karala, and two are fused together. दी जन को फ्यूज करागला गोटे एंड रे. Then a annular space is left between two tubes. Annular space left hoji dekho, this is the vacant space. This vacant space between the two tubes is known as annular space. Is left between the two tubes for removal of ozonized oxygen. While lamp is provided with a annular space is left between the two tubes. Two tubes with annular space rahila. And wide limb is provided with a side tube. गोटे side tube provide हैला कौन पाई ना गोटे ozonized oxygen को collect करिबा पाई. Then dilute sulfuric acid was taken in the inner tube. Inner tube भितरे dilute sulfuric acid नले, and the whole apparatus kept in a gas jar containing dilute sulfuric acid. Then the whole apparatus को गोटे gas jar भितरे introduce करेले, and gas jar को dilute sulfuric acid भितरे पुरेले. सॉरी होल गैस जार भितरे डाइल्यूट सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड को रखिले. देन टू प्लैटिनम इलेक्ट्रोड्स आर इंट्रोड्यूस्ड, वन इन द इनर ट्यूब. टू प्लैटिनम इलेक्ट्रोड भितर गोटे प्लैटिनम इलेक्ट्रोड इनर ट्यूब भितर रखिले, एंड अनदर इन द गैस जार, अनदर को गैस जार भितर रखिले. देन व्हेन दिस इज द कंस्ट्रक्शन, देन हाउ ओजोन इज प्रिपेयर्ड इन द Brody ozonizer. When pure and dry oxygen, that is O2, is introduced to the annular space by the help of inlet, and the oxygen is revolved in the or pass through the annular space, and silent electric current is passed or discharge is applied to the oxygen by the help of induction coil. Then oxygen is converted into ozone. Then oxygen when pure and dry oxygen is passed through the tube and silent electric discharge is applied to it. Silent electric discharge apply karagala, then ozonized oxygen is formed. Ozonized oxygen formation hobo kana oxygen ta electric current apply kale oxygen is converted to ozone, and ozonized oxygen formation हला and collected at the outlet. ये outlet पोटे हमारा ozonized oxygen collect होगा. In this method 25% ozonized oxygen can be collected. In this ozonized oxygen there is a mixture of O3 and O2, and O3 percentage is 25%. That is little more than the Siemens ozonizer. So these are the methods or laboratory preparations of ozone. One is Siemens ozonizer, this one is Siemens ozonizer, and this one is Brody ozonizer. By in this apparatus, oxygen can be converted into ozone, and we also prepare ozone by this apparatus known as ozonizer. Siemens ozonizer and Brody ozonizer. In Siemens ozonizer 10 to 15% ozone is formed, and in Brody ozonizer 25% ozone is formed. Okay. So these are the laboratory preparations of ozone.